Today I would like to discuss how I use iPad for the development. So there are various applications which I use. So I have learned over past 1 year how I can use iPad effectively. So first thing you need is you need to buy an iPad keyboard or iPad compatible Bluetooth keyboard. You can have a magic keyboard, but it is very costly. But if you can afford it, I would recommend that because the magic keyboard has a trackpad as well. So it is very efficient when you are using magic trackpad with the iPad. But if you don't want to spend dollar 300 on magic keyboard, then you can have other choices like Logitech MX keys and other MK 380 keyboards. They are very cheap, but MX keys are also uh, in somewhat middle, but it is very good keyboard. So how I use Apple iPad? First of all, I have configured my server, Proxmox server. As you know that all of my Windows, Ubuntu servers and all the development Dockers are on the Proxmox and I have configured that. So this is my Proxmox. Actually, the basic problem is that I have to map the escape key because on the iPad Magic Keyboard we don't have the escape key. So I have mapped that to caps lock. So there are some problems, but it's okay. So right now I have the Proxmox server which is running Ubuntu, Windows 10 and Rancher. So I can log in with the console over here by just right clicking and go to the console over here, and I can log in with the Windows doing things on the iPad. So Proxmox is a very good server and it provides you virtual environments for your Ubuntu, Windows and Rancher or Docker server. So once you have established the connection using the Proxmox, actually I have like bookmarked or create a shortcut as a home. So that's why we have all of these Proxmox and other things sitting on my home desktop. And you can go into this Safari and add to home screen and it will automatically download the code or the Proxmox site and configure it as a, you can say, single SSP applications. So with and same I have done with the code server. Here is the code server down below. When I click it, it runs the Visual Code Studio on the iPad. So this is the next config.js I am using, and you can open any file or you can open or drag files or you can go to the extensions and see everything. It is just like the code server. Some extensions are not which are developed by the Microsoft. They does not appear in this panel, so you need to install them manually, but it's okay. You can install it easily manually. And this server is running from the Proxmox server, which I showed you earlier, which is sitting over here on the Ubuntu. So this code server I have configured it on the Ubuntu. I will make another tutorial how you can install the code server on Ubuntu. It's very easy and configure it with the encrypt SSH so that iPad can handle that request. And I have also saved this code server as a shortcut add to home using Safari. That's why it's available like this as an app over here. So you can certainly work in the code server. You can certainly, and I have purchased another application. It's called the Blink. Blink is a very good application. It lets you SSH into any of the servers, Windows, or any server you want, and you can just type in the server name and you can easily go over there and it will work fantastically. So even in the Visual Code Studio, you can launch up the terminal by pressing Control Shift and the terminal key shortcut which you have, and over here you can also have the listings and all the other stuff you can do with the terminal, and it is the default Ubuntu terminal I have showed you earlier. So these tools are very almost as a necessity when you are working as a developer, and I believe you would Blink. I have purchased it, but the code server setup is free. If you have a Ubuntu server, you can set it up like that. I also edit voices or other stuff while recording a video. So for that, I use this application. It is quite useful. It is called Ferret or Ferrite, I believe. And this application is actually it's a Ferret, and it's a recording studio, and it had tons of plugins and everything. Basically, I have bought another plugin, Brucify, this one, which helps you to reduce noise if you have a noise in your recordings, and it is a very good plugin. So beside that, I have other stuff like Jump Desktop. If you want to log into the remote desktops like Windows machine or other stuff, you can certainly do that by using the Jump Desktop. It is a very good desktop, but I don't like it because it does not display the screen as to my taste. The fonts are little blurred out, and that's how it works. You can see the screen, my screen over here. We are also running Laragon server over here, and this is how it works on the Windows. But I usually use Microsoft RD client. It's RD client. I believe so. It's a better do a better job than Jump Desktop to connecting to Windows because it renders my PC fonts correctly, and I can still use my Visual Studio Code in there and all of this stuff. And believe me, it's quite beautiful to look at when I. It's really refreshing to see fonts rendered in high resolution, and you can still see how it looks even using the remote desktop. I'm using this, and it is pretty efficient. I can move screens here and there. I can go to the file browser, and I can just move the contents, and you can do a lot of stuff if you are using Windows. And I can also log in with the Mac, but for Mac I usually use Jump Desktop because they don't have the good RD client like remote desktop client. So I usually for Mac I usually use the Jump Desktop. So these are both RD client and Jump Desktop. They are both like remotely. If you want to access remotely, you can use any one of them. They are both good. And beside that, I also use Yonk. This is the copy. If you want to copy RSA keys and other stuff, you can use that. You can copy and paste, just drag and drop over there, and it will just copy the stuff from here to over here. If you want to copy this, just drag and drop over there and you can copy. So Yonk, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but it is a very good utility if you want to copy and paste files, and you can still save snippets in it and copy it, and you can use it anytime. So Yonk is also a very good utility. And for the rest of the we have covered SSH Blink and other code server and this one. And if you still want to access your machines, you can use the Jump Desktop. And beside that, I have other things like Jira. I can print remotely using my Epson iPrint. I will later on talk to you how I have a Wi-Fi printer, so I can print from the iPad or iPhone or anything. I do have also the over here. I have a Slack over here as well. So all this stuff development stuff I can do from my iPad as well. So These are the tools I am using on day-to-day basis, and these are very good tools. And hopefully you I also use Canva over here to produce thumbnails for the YouTube. I do have Trello as well. So all of these are very useful when you are working as a remote developer. And basically these all of these are I have like a magic keyboard, so I can type in, and I love the magic keyboard because it has a scissor keys on the iPad, and it works really fine when you are coding or developing on an iPad. But most of the tasks are handled by my backend servers. So backend servers is if you have a old machine or old Mac Mini or something like that, you can easily set up that, and you can remotely log in, and then you can use those. Calculator I'm using is a Tiding. It's a very good calculator, and you can use like that. You can even link it, and you can add stuff like that, and it works very beautifully. And you can also produce graphs and other stuff. It has very advanced features. So usually I use this calculator, and then I have a measuring app. Measure, it's called a Measure, and if you are on a phone, it works very great. You just put the phone from one corner to another, and it will measure exactly, and it is always accurate. So this is how I use my iPad, and hopefully you will like that. The tools or apps I have shown you, you can configure it. And one of the major application for file copying and other stuff, I use File Browser Business Edition. It is a very good app. It can log in with the Amazon S3 servers, SFTP servers. It can access data from the files. So when I have to copy files from here and there, I use Files app and the File Browser app. This app has can connect to any server, or you can browse any folder on your iPad, and it is such a beautiful app that you I always love to have this on my home screen. And it can connect to my MacBook, Windows, iPad, or Amazon S3, or you can set up like you can put all of you can connect with all of these services. So File Browser Business Edition is my go-to app on daily basis. Even it copies from the USB drives and other stuff. And I usually use LumaFusion for editing videos. This one, and it searches my videos from the my SD SSD drive. I have not yet plugged in, so that's why the it's showing the media is not available. But once I pull in, when I just hook up the SSD drive, it works beautifully as well. So all of these things are on my iPad, and believe it, it is a workhorse for now and works beautifully. So thank you for this video. If you are not subscribed, please do and give a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.